Ever wondered what fueled the astonishing success of the Mongol Empire? Beyond their military prowess, archery skills, and strategic brilliance, there was another cornerstone that often goes overlooked: hygiene. That's right, hygiene practices were an essential part of what made the Mongol Empire incredibly resilient and effective. This video explores how the Mongols mastered the art of maintaining personal and collective cleanliness, even amidst the rigors of war. Before we get started, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more enlightening content. And now, on History's Untold, how hygiene fueled the Mongol Empire. The Mongol hordes, a fearsome name that reverberates through the annals of history, are often conjured in the imagination as ruthless conquerors, masters of the horse, archery, and the art of war. But behind this formidable facade lies a secret weapon, one not of steel, but of routine and discipline. It is the less-sung aspect of Mongol military success: hygiene. Yes, hygiene. In the open landscapes of Central Asia, beneath the azure sky where Mongol tribes roamed and later forged the largest contiguous empire in history, hygiene practices played an indispensable role. Although it might initially sound like a mundane detail, especially compared to the sweeping strategies of Genghis Khan, or the remarkable engineering behind the Mongol bow, hygiene was in many ways the unsung hero of the Mongol military campaigns. So how did these nomadic warriors maintain hygiene in an era lacking the comforts and conveniences of modern sanitation? Well, it begins with their lifestyle. The Mongols were predominantly herders, accustomed to a life in tune with the natural rhythms of the earth. They lived in a symbiotic relationship with their animals, and this in turn influenced their hygiene practices. The Mongols were acutely aware that health was vital for survival, particularly given the harsh environment in which they lived. First and foremost, let's talk about diet, a cornerstone of personal health. Fermented mare's milk, or arag, was a staple. Rich in probiotics, vitamins, and minerals, arag was a versatile and nourishing foodstuff that also had the benefit of long shelf life, something incredibly useful for long military campaigns. Meat, often dried or smoked, provided essential proteins and fats, creating a diet that was surprisingly balanced and aimed at long-term sustenance. However, it was water that took center stage in the Mongol hygiene routine. Mongol warriors were taught from an early age to never pollute running water, a practice instilled as a form of reverence and practicality. The same streams that offered refreshment also provided water for cleaning wounds and bathing. And speaking of wounds, Mongol warriors had an unusual but effective treatment for them. Freshly voided urine, being sterile, was sometimes used to clean open cuts. This might not sound appetizing, but it's an effective way to reduce infection in the absence of other antiseptics. Even their choice of clothing was a nod to hygiene. The Mongols were keen observers of their environment, and their clothing reflected not only the need for protection against the elements, but also a consideration for hygiene. The traditional Mongol attire was a mixture of functionality, practicality, and, yes, cleanliness, made largely from animal hides and wool. Each piece of attire was thoughtfully designed to fit the nomadic lifestyle, with hygiene often playing a critical role in its conception. Firstly, let's consider the materials. Animal hides, particularly those that are well tanned, and wool have a remarkable property. They are naturally resistant to the growth of bacteria and parasites. This makes them ideal for long journeys where changing clothes frequently is not an option. Wool, for instance, is not only excellent for thermal regulation, but also wicks moisture away from the body, keeping the skin dry and less prone to bacterial growth. It's also naturally flame-resistant, adding another layer of safety. Sheep's wool in particular contains lanolin, a waxy substance that has natural antibacterial properties. As the Mongols were predominantly a herding culture, sheep's wool was readily available and commonly used. In an environment where showers are scarce but sweat is plenty, wearing a material that naturally fights bacteria is a significant advantage. The design of their clothing also had elements that indirectly contributed to hygiene. Mongolian traditional wear like the deel, a type of long coat or robe, offered the flexibility needed for their active, often strenuous lifestyle. A deel could be easily loosened or tightened to control body temperature and sweat, reducing the risk of skin infections that come from a moist environment. The loose-fitting nature of the attire would allow for improved air circulation, thereby lessening body odor and further reducing bacterial and fungal growth. Even the boots the Mongols wore were designed for hygiene and durability. Made from multiple layers of leather, the boots were typically high, often reaching up to the knees. This design not only provided excellent protection against harsh terrains and climates, but also prevented insects and parasites like ticks and leeches from easily accessing the skin. Moreover, clothing would often be sun-dried. The power of ultraviolet rays to kill off bacteria and parasites was perhaps not scientifically understood, but the Mongols would have noticed the refreshing and even cleansing effect of sun-drying their clothes. Remember, these were people deeply in tune with their environment. They didn't need a microscope to know that sunshine made their clothes feel and smell cleaner. It's also worth mentioning that the Mongols traditionally carried few possessions. A minimalist approach to belongings meant less clutter, and consequently, fewer places for dirt and bacteria to accumulate. This wasn't just a practical lifestyle choice, but also a tactical one. Fewer possessions meant faster mobility for the Mongol armies, a crucial factor that contributed to their military successes. Another standout practice of Mongol hygiene was their approach to waste management. The armies were strictly instructed to dig latrines at a safe distance from their campsites, a critical move to prevent the spread of diseases. The discipline was so ingrained that failure to adhere to these sanitary guidelines could result in severe punishments. In an era when other armies might suffer devastating losses due to the spread of dysentery or other diseases, the Mongols remained largely unaffected, courtesy of their commitment to cleanliness. Let's not forget dental care. While they didn't have toothbrushes as we know them, they did chew on sticks from particular types of trees whose fibers and natural properties helped clean teeth and gums. While specific information on the types of sticks the Mongols may have used for dental hygiene is limited, chewing sticks, or miswak sticks as they are known in some cultures, have been utilized for dental care across various societies for thousands of years. These sticks are typically sourced from trees like the Salvadora persica, commonly known as the toothbrush tree, or other types of fibrous trees whose twigs can fray into bristles when chewed. Chewing on sticks to clean teeth is a method that is widely known to have been used in Islamic cultures, parts of Africa and Asia. The fibrous texture of certain types of wood can effectively remove plaque and improve gum health. In some instances, the sticks have been noted to contain natural antibacterial or other medicinal properties. Given the Mongols' resourcefulness and keen understanding of their natural environment, it's plausible that they utilized indigenous plants with fibrous properties for dental care. They might have employed the twigs of trees available in the Central Asian steppes, or those encountered during their expansive campaigns, from Eastern Europe to the Middle East and China. This aspect of Mongol life and military discipline tells us much about their society's values. They were not merely a war machine built on bloodlust and cruelty, as they are sometimes portrayed. They were a complex, adaptive society that placed great emphasis on the well-being of the individual warrior and the collective group. And why not? An army marches on its stomach, as the saying goes, but it also marches on its overall health and hygiene. It's remarkable to consider how these practical measures contributed to the Mongols' extraordinary military successes. While their tactical genius, horsemanship, and weaponry were undeniably critical, it was the warriors' well-being that made consistent performance possible. Healthy warriors are effective warriors, and effective warriors make history, something the Mongols knew all too well. The Mongol Empire, that colossal force that reshaped the medieval world, was as much a product of hygienic discipline as it was of military prowess. Their attentiveness to sanitation, diet, and personal cleanliness may not have struck fear into the hearts of their enemies, but it no doubt fortified their ranks, enabling them to undertake some of the most ambitious military campaigns in history. In that sense, the Mongols' approach to hygiene offers a lesson that transcends time and place, reminding us that even the mightiest of endeavors rests on the most fundamental aspects of human care. Thanks for tuning in on History's Untold. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to journey further into the fascinating corners of history, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we unearth another incredible story. Until next time, keep questioning and keep exploring, because history is filled with stories that are just waiting to be told. See you in the next episode.